Module 2 will cover checking and savings, beginning with banking services and fees. This will cover things like check cashing, overdraft protection, automated payment, and online bill paying. We'll also talk about the importance of saving and some best practices for doing so, particularly for purposes such as education, emergencies, and retirement. We'll also talk about interest, how it can be accrued in your favor, or, leading into Module 3, credit, how it can build up quickly. Module 3 will cover credit, loans, and debt management. We'll start with establishing and maintaining good credit. Students should be able to establish credit and know how to check their own credit scores as well as to improve or maintain good credit. We'll also talk about applying for personal or business loans and talk about alternate sources of funding, such as grants, scholarships, trials, and so on. Finally, we'll talk about debt management, interest, consolidation, repayment strategies, and forgiveness programs for specific types of topics such as education. Module 4, Insurance. As we saw earlier, very few students have all types of insurance, and even those who have medical and dental insurance still want to know more about this. So we'll talk about the types of insurance and the importance of coverage, especially for those who are not accustomed to having to provide their own health coverage. We'll talk about planning for the future, how and where to apply for insurance, particularly health, home, car, apartment or renter's insurance, life insurance, and business insurance. Module 5 will discuss identity and security. The first and most important topic is the use of ID numbers, particularly tax ID numbers and social security numbers. In the US, we're accustomed to protecting our social security number. This is information that we don't give out freely. However, in Central and South America, many countries use national ID numbers as frequently as they use their names. And so it's important for students to be aware that if they have either one of those numbers, they should be cautious about how and when they provide that information. We'll also talk about transactions. How can students determine whether a transaction is secure? During the application of the survey, one student expressed that he had doubts about transferring money through Western Union because he had never done it before and wasn't familiar with that company. So, through this part of Module 5, we hope to enable students to determine when it is safe and what transactions are considered trustworthy. We'll also talk about verification questions. What kinds of things should students be asking before they share any of their identifying information or their finances? And finally, we'll talk about rights and responsibilities. What rights of identity do students have, and what responsibilities do they have? Module 6 will be primarily for students in levels 3 and 4 and above. These advanced topics will include specific areas of interest mentioned by students in the survey, such as investment, negotiations, exchange rates, and comparative economic systems. While students in levels 1 and 2 may have interest in this and may find it relevant for their lives, we'll focus on the first 5 modules for those levels until they acquire enough foundational vocabulary to move into these more advanced topics. Each module will include corresponding learning outcomes from the existing curriculum for easy use for instructors, clear and manageable lesson objectives. Bear in mind that everything we just went through for each module was an overview. They will be broken into individual lessons such as how to write a check, or compare and contrast checking and savings accounts. It will also include key vocabulary according to the level of the students involved. There will be materials and scaffolded activities by topic and level to help reduce the amount of preparation that instructors need to do in order to incorporate these lessons into their plans. We will have some sample lesson plans so you can see how all of these pieces fit together, as well as a list of additional online or community resources that students can use if they would like more information. So the next steps for us to apply this initiative together are the following. First, you'll attend the curriculum supplement training in late September. Then, you'll review the pilot schedule and submit an introductory training handout, Or you'll email me with confirmation or rejection of the proposed date of the pilot for your classes and your sections. And you'll let me know your preferred time and method of contact to coordinate prep and planning. I would like to be as little of a burden to you as possible, so hopefully we can find a time that will be convenient for everyone to prepare. And then we'll select at least one additional financial literacy lesson to incorporate into each fall 2018 course by the end of October 2018. Please notify me in advance and provide feedback upon completion of the chosen lesson. During our curriculum supplement training in late September, I'll give you more information about how we would like to document that last step. I look forward to working with all of you on this, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.